Oh boy, New Star Games has come a long way since they released New Star Soccer on Flash websites like Mousebreaker and Congregate over 10 years ago, and they've been around for like 16 years. I remember fondly playing a few sneaky games of New Star Soccer in between my lectures in college, and now I'm so glad I can review its successor, NewStarManager, that's available now on the Switch. Not only am I going to be reviewing NewStarManager on the Switch, but I will also be comparing it to its mobile version, also available now. So let's just jump into it. First off, this game is different from New Star Soccer as you control the manager instead of just one single player. Being the manager not only means you can control all the players on the pitch, but you manage their happiness, skills, salaries, positions, relationships, and much more. Just like players, you also have to keep your staff happy with regular development cards, meetings, and keeping their contract fresh so they don't panic about their livelihoods. After a few matches, you will notice that you have a happiness meter for press, fans, sponsors, and the board. Happy fans will give you extra chances in matches, happy press will increase attendance and funds, happy sponsors will achieve better deals, and happy board will increase the chances of extra funding. But honestly, I never use the board unless it's an emergency. Another way NewStarManager differs from New Star Soccer is, unfortunately, there are no horse races. Come on, Spaghetti Forgetti, come on, I got 3 cans of energy on you, come on, Spaghetti Forgetti, come on! Oh, no. Navigating the menus may seem daunting at first glance, but the tutorial does a good job at explaining what's what. On Switch handheld and mobile phones, you can just tap where you want to go, but when the Switch is docked, you have to navigate using the analog or hotkeys, which can be a little slower. The matches have become more complex compared to New Star Soccer. As I said, you're able to control everyone on the pitch, but also make subs, change formation, change work rate, focus, and give energizing team talks. Match movement has changed the most compared to mobile. On mobile, all you could do was tap and drag players, but on the Switch, several buttons are utilized to make the game feel less like a game of chess and more like a game of FIFA. For example, dragging your finger on your player on mobile allowed them to move on the pitch. However, the movement could be awkward depending on screen size and how fat your damn fingers are. But on the Switch, the user only has to hold ZR and then they can move their player with the reliable old analog, which feels great. I know that the more I use the controls, the faster and more enjoyable my matches will be. What's even better is on handheld, players can alternate between the buttons and touch control during any stage of the game. Since I'm so used to the mobile version, I tend to do this a lot. Hitting the ball on the Switch has become a lot easier because the hit cursor is always on the center of the ball, and if you choose to kick the ball with A, adding spin only requires a little analog movement. This may be a little too easy for some players who are used to hitting the ball with their fingers or mouse. For me especially, the original appeal of the series is the challenge of hitting the ball just right. Now, one of the downsides of playing NewStarManager on the phone, aside from the smaller screen size, was the drain on my poor phone's battery life. Thankfully, the Switch has a pretty heavy duty battery, being able to support Breath of the Wild and Smash Bros for hours. So you should probably get, like a couple of months of game time on a full battery? Maybe? Also, while playing on my iPhone 6 Plus, the lag would get pretty bad sometimes, and I sometimes suffered from crashes when things got intense. So far on the Switch, I haven't had any problems. Touch wood. These days you got your games that are pick up and play, like Touchdowners or Hearthstone. And then you got your long-term games like Witcher 3 or Collect the Blood.
Energy charge.
Now, NewStarManager does a good job of being a short-term game and a long-term game, and here's why. Minigames. Minigames are fun, right? And winning them when buying a player, having an interview, or giving a team talk will save money, respect, and energy. However, losing them can cost you, so stay sharp. Board targets. Board targets give a great incentive to play even for short bursts. For those of you who play 20 to 30 minutes a day, board targets will definitely be achieved, and seeing one game left usually pushes me to say, one more game so. Achievements! You pretty much get an achievement for everything you do in this game to begin with, and every achievement grants XP which will earn you valuable card packs. So it's a great incentive to explore the menus, use cards, take a replay, watch a replay, win a match, buy a player, turn off the game, brush your teeth, go to bed, dream about NewStarManager, wake up, turn back on NewStarManager, get a hat trick, make toast, pretty much everything. Upgrading your buildings. If you look at your starting salary and then look at the cost of some of the top tier Jesus, 50 million. You'll see that you have a long way to go to be able to afford it all. All the more reason to drive through all the lower leagues and achieve greatness. 50 million, lads. And of course, the incentive of having the best team, all the cups and trophies, and being the best manager of all time in Ireland. Alright, just a few tips and tricks before I wrap up. You can sell your cards if you're in a pinch for some cash. I did not notice before, but if you go up to the top right of the screen next to your currency, you tap the card button and you got all your cards and you just drag it over and sell them. I did not notice. Like, is this on mobile? Find out what player is disliked most by your team and consider selling them, or at the very least keep them away from other players during a match. Otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. Early on, buy stadium upgrades that increase attendance. When you can keep an eye on attendance ratings, see if you're hitting the limit often. More cash flow means being able to upgrade everything else faster. When players are unhappy, try updating their contracts if you have the extra cash, especially before important games. Their elevated mood could make the difference on the pitch. If you're scoring goals often, consider getting the sponsorships that have a higher goal bonus, but don't sacrifice for a terrible fan opinion either. Of course, these tips and way more are found in the help files at the top left of the screen, so make sure you check that out. Even though I've already played 7 seasons of NewStarManager as Jiminy Swoney's Moist FC on my iPhone, I'm still excited to start a new career on Switch as Susan O'Leary's Bees FC. Especially because of the bigger screen, better battery, match enhancements, and the generous manager packs that replace microtransactions, which will surely make the journey less of a grind and much more enjoyable. If I've convinced you that this is a must get, especially for soccer fans and soccer manager fans alike, then all I can say is